Hi Godspeed. This channel is about astronomy. I started some list. It is about astronomy to prove to you that there is some crazy science on internet. So I started 4 video on each guy on the internet. Like this is against Sabine Hossenfelder. She presents much false science. So this video.
If the universe expands, what does it expand into? I haven't made a video about this so far because there are already lots of videos about it. But then I was thinking, if you keep asking, those other videos probably didn't answer the question. And why is that? I'm guessing it may be because one can't really understand the answer without knowing at least a little bit about how Einstein's theory of general relativity works.
It is a 11-minute video in which she is presenting the expansion of the universe. But she has a crooked manner to do it. Like if you are watching the video, I wrote how the video is named and you can search her channel. She says like the expansion, who prove it? Nobody proves the expansion. But then she does a lot with some explanation in Einstein curvature, and like Einstein did not prove the expansion of the universe. So, and then she does a lot with this some crooked science, Einstein's false science, okay? So then she implies that this is the demonstration of the expansion. So this is the kind of false science that you'll get all over the internet.
So with that background knowledge, let us then look at the first question. What does the universe expand into? It doesn't expand into anything, it just expands. The statement that the universe expands is as any other statement that we make in general relativity about the internal properties of space-time. It says, loosely speaking, that the space between galaxies stretches.
So let me tell you again the logic, if you are slow with your mind, okay? So you say that you prove the expansion, then you go and talk about Einstein did not prove the expansion. You speak about the curvature of space-time and you imply that somehow this is the demonstration of the expansion of the universe. You are crazy, my friends. Including Einstein, and all of you are crazy. But let me tell you why these things were invented. From the Earth, this is real history stuff. From the Earth they had lunets and telescopes. Even on Einstein times, I read an Einstein book. He said in his book that they knew the bending of lights. Why? You can see from Earth with some telescopes the bendings like this. Like these zones. You can see them. Prior Einstein did some. You could see this with a telescope and lunet from Earth. So now demonists, like they took everybody on Einstein and said that Einstein proved that the space is bending. Einstein is false science. But let me tell you why these surfaces are curved. The surface curvature, you see? There is a surface there and it is bent. And the light bends through a curved surface. Not with some crazy science that you prove that it bends. So this is why, to trick you, okay? We live in a sphere. Our galaxy is a sphere. We cannot see beyond it. Like you have in a night sky clouds that you block the stars and everything, and in a dark night sky. This is the way our galaxy is surrounded by clouds, and the galaxies are small stars put in their clouds, extracting light from there. Our galaxy has an electromagnetic circuit like this, and we cannot see the real universe. And they invented this stuff. Einstein did not do this. And if he did, he was crazy. like these guys. But I'm telling you the real stuff, why these things were made. To do not understand this. And like authority, they throw you in your eyes Einstein. But Einstein did not made empty pure space from void. Did not made. So if you want to dazzle in her video, she dazzle you, okay? She promised that she will explain the expansion of the empty space, and then she's saying that the curvature, Einstein curvature, implies that this is like proof.
Hi Albert, today is all about you. So here's that little bit you need to know about general relativity. First of all, Einstein used from special relativity that time is a dimension. So we really live in a four-dimensional space-time with one dimension of time and three dimensions of space. Without general relativity, space-time is flat, like a sheet of paper. With general relativity, it can curve. But what is curvature? That's the key to understanding space-time. To see what it means for space-time to curve, let us start with the simplest example, a two-dimensional sphere. No time, just space. That image of a sphere is familiar to you, but really what you see isn't just a sphere. You see a sphere in a three-dimensional space. That three-dimensional space is called the embedding space. The embedding space itself is flat. It doesn't have curvature. If you embed the sphere, you immediately see that it's curved. But that's not how it works in general relativity. In general relativity, we are asking how we can find out what the curvature of space-time is while living inside it. There's no outside. There's no embedding space. So for the sphere, that'd mean we'd have to ask how we can find out it's curved if we were living on the surface, maybe ants crawling around on it.
And she is mentioning only in the passing the redshift. The redshift is false physics. False physics. Okay? So you do not have any proof. So I'm telling you, you cannot have an anti-formula to a crazy formula, mathematical formula. But I'm telling you like this, if you are seeing a man from a mountain, like with your naked eyes, you'll understand that your naked eyes you cannot see billions of kilometers and the stars are close. It seems to you easy or not, I'm telling you the truth. They are demonically fooled and they are fooling the entire planet, like demonically, and they are taking Einstein and everything, like Einstein did. They were preparing this demonically because they already saw these bendings. You see, and the surface bendings. It proves that the surface there, with all our known physics, actual science, light bend to a surface that it is made from a material, like this. So if you see light bending, you infer automatically that this is a surface there. Like you put a lantern in water, on you are submerging in water and you put the lights, or like this, or in a bend mirror, like in the amusement park with mirror bendings. A surface that it is reflecting light is bending light if the surface is bent. This is normal science, not psychopath science. You cannot make crooked space through no mass. Through no mass does not bend space, does not create gravity. So they were inventing this to fool you.
One way to do it is to remember that in flat space the inner angles of triangles always sum up to 180 degrees. In a curved space, that's no longer the case. An extreme example is to take a triangle that has a right angle at one of the poles of the sphere, goes down to the equator and closes along the equator. This triangle has three right angles. They sum to 270 degrees. That just isn't possible in flat space.
To not understand that it is material. Dark energy, dark matter, and bendings of light were invented to trick you, to fool you. Because the stars are small and close, and the galaxies are simply stars cumulus of crystalline structure metallic objects submerging clouds, and they produce light, extracting like electromagnetic. And our galaxy is a sphere, not a spiral. It's surrounded by clouds of matter. And these pictures, already known by the Einstein times, I read a book written by Einstein. He says in the book by bendings. They were known, so before any telescope, they had good telescopes. They were seeing these bendings, and they interpreted that in Riemannian stupid crazy mathematics, Einstein mathematics that he used, it bends pure space to falsify these pictures. I'm telling you, this is like demon-like science. You can lie. Our galaxy is a small sphere. The radius, the solar system is the middle. Copernicus put the solar system, the sun in the middle. And they falsified that our galaxy is a spiral and not, but the Copernicus did not said this. And they'll falsify anything. To not understand that light diminishes with distance, with the square root of the distance. And if you do not see a man from a mountain with your naked eyes, in the night sky you could not see stars from exceeding 4 light years. You cannot. So I'm telling you the truth. I'm not filming myself straight. This is the way I'm liking. Okay, maybe sometime I will film myself straight, and I'm saying like a tea science or a coffee science. This is a soluble coffee, and I'm starting a list to comment some YouTubers to understand that these kinds of YouTubers like Sabine are tricking you with some presenting some dazzling science. So I take 4 videos on each guy and I move, because the full internet with the stupid physics and false science present false science. But I'm telling you that you will understand why they are lying, okay?
So if the ant measures all these triangles, it can figure out that it's crawling on a sphere. There is another way the ant can figure out it's in a curved space. In flat space, the circumference of a circle is related to the radius by 2 pi r, where r is the radius of the circle. But that relation too doesn't hold in a curved space. If our ant crawls a distance r from the pole of the sphere and then goes around in a circle, the radius of the circle will be less than 2 pi r. This means measuring the circumference is another way to find out the surface is curved without knowing anything about the embedding space. By the way, if you try these 2 methods for a cylinder instead of a sphere, you'll get the same result as in flat space. And that's entirely correct. A cylinder has no intrinsic curvature. It's periodic in one direction, but it's internally flat. General relativity now uses a higher dimensional generalization of this intrinsic curvature. So the curvature of space-time is defined entirely in terms which are internal to the space-time.
So our galaxy is surrounded by matter, and you cannot dazzle us to promise that you will explain how the expansion of the universe is producing empty space. No object in physics produces empty space. And then you speak about Einstein to trick everybody that Einstein is false physics, about curvature on the sphere, and then you imply that this is explained expansion. You, my friend, are presenting false logic and science, and you are demonized like a demon, tricked. There were some guys in the old times that fought with the Bible. You do not know this in the current day. That to falsify that you cannot have produce all the stars in one day, like in the Bible says. But if this, our galaxy is a sphere with one radius, with one day, with the speed of light, when God ignited the stars, ignited with the speed of light. The light is energy. This is what the ignition. So this is why it's explained that the stars were in a cloud of water. The cloud contained the planet. It void the cloud, like it is split the cloud in two, like in the Bible says. A big cloud of water. Spirit of God was above the cloud of water, and it split the cloud in two. It voided, semi-void, because there is an energy field inside our galaxy. Only body can see. And then the pieces remained in the clouds at the border of our galaxy. These pictures prove that is matter there still. Matter does not. So then when he said he ignited with the speed of light, that it is an energy, all our galaxy at once, all the stars that remain, that are crystalline structure and metallic object at once, like this, with the speed of light. That's why I said it in one day. It is a sphere, and the speed of light came across and ignited all the stars at once. It voided the clouds, split it in half. It voided inside the planets, were suspended like this, and they were expecting us to find out the matter at the border of our galaxy, because the Bible says the split of waters above the firmament and beneath the firmament of the heaven. And in there they put stars, and galaxies are not gravitational systems, are like this. They do not have 300,000 kilometers in span, and they are lying to you. They do not have the distance, Earth-Moon distance. They're small stars, galaxies, full of crystalline and alloys, and they are submerged in electromagnetic field, and they are illuminating the clouds that they are there. And this Sabine and other guys like this falsify science, falsify everything. And the Einstein was the head of them. You believe me or not, the Einstein is false science, crooked science. So goodbye, God bless. Our galaxy is a sphere. From Einstein's time, they knew this. Ptolemy knew this in 160 after Christ. Copernicus put the sun in the middle of this sphere, and they made it spiral, and they are tricking you with this dazzling curvature of space. Einstein say, universe. You cannot see the damn universe. Goodbye, God bless. This is my first video against Sabine. I will make 4 because she has many false science in her channel. Goodbye, God bless. Like, share and subscribe. Help me that everybody should know this. Okay, goodbye.
You don't need to know anything about the embedding space. The space-time curvature shows up in Einstein's field equations in these quantities called r. Roughly speaking, to calculate those, you take all the angles of all possible triangles in all orientations at all points. From that, you can construct an object called the curvature tensor that tells you exactly how space-time curves, where, how strong, and into which direction. The things in Einstein's field equations are sums over that curvature tensor. That's the one important thing you need to know about general relativity. The curvature of space-time can be defined and measured entirely inside of space-time.